The Xbox 360 has recently turned 20, and yes, I know I'm extremely late with this, even for the European release of the console. So for the purposes of this video, let's just pretend I live in Japan, I guess. Is there any console that people remember more fondly than this and, well, arguably, the PlayStation 2? It was a huge step forward when it comes to what consoles can do, and a huge step forward in my own personal life as someone who enjoys games, given how it was my second ever console after the previously mentioned PlayStation 2, which I got as a communion gift, with my one specifically being made in September of 2009, which means I did thankfully miss out on a lot of the technical issues that a console had, and in fact I didn't even really know too much about the Red Ring of Death until I learned about it just through social osmosis, probably around the time of the late 2010s. It also means I missed out on some other cool stuff, like the legendary Blades interface. Instead, I got the newer tile-based one, which inspired a lot of later design choices when it comes to Microsoft user interfaces, especially when it comes to the Xbox One, Windows phones, and of course, Windows 8. And yeah, there were a lot of different variants of this console, including the core model that launched alongside the main one, which didn't even have HDMI, but gave you a nice $100 discount. Then there was the premiums and the slims, and probably the most confusingly of all, the E, not to be confused with the Elite. The E was released literally months before its successor, the Xbox One, and was specifically made to look just like a smaller version of the console that's about to surpass it, or at least when it comes to overall tech and power, not sales though. Making this pretty much the last console everyone can agree actually sold well for Microsoft, with them going down a downward spiral ever since then. I wanted to begin with a game that is actually nearing the end of the console's lifespan, with something like Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, just to see if graphically it holds up as well as I remember it. And of course it's also becoming kind of relevant again, given how there is a remaster coming soon. And right off the bat, this is a lot more rough than I remember it being. The thing is, at a time, you know, you're probably playing this on a 1080p TV, maybe 4K, because it was that time when they kind of began to very slowly appear, but yeah. But even if you just look at the lighting, that's one of the things. Just look how boringly lit this scene here is, with the buildings. It is extremely flat looking compared to modern games. However, keep in mind this is still running on a console from 2005, and for that is still mighty impressive, and it is still a pretty decent way to experience the game, though of course I would either just play it on PC or wait for the remake, remaster, whatever. Now, like I said, it was only my second ever console. I didn't grow up with the original Xbox, though as I got older and more into, well, games that are about as old as me, one thing I've really come to appreciate about the 360 is the backwards compatibility, even if it is arguably all over the place. Not all Xbox games will work on 360, and even those that are listed as officially compatible sometimes have some very weird behavior. Take, say, Need for Speed Underground 2 as an example. It looks and runs pretty great for the most part, but split-screen multiplayer races are completely broken on the 360 version. However, there are some games where it works, and it works extremely well, like with one of my favorite original Xbox games that I've been thoroughly enjoying on my 360, SSX 3, and this game is the reason why my gamepad looks the way that it does, with the left joystick being completely annihilated by trying to do tricks in a game. And then of course there is the Kinect. Now, I'm one of the few people in the world that didn't own a Nintendo Wii, so the Kinect was revolutionary to me, especially because unlike the Wii, you didn't even need any kind of controller, as the marketing made extremely clear. And that thing was so much fun, it really deserves its own video, especially now that there are clearly signs that people are in the market for a Kinect-like experience yet again, because history of gaming always runs in cycles, and it looks like motion controls could be making a comeback. So what are your favorite memories with this console? Let me know down in the comments below, and while you're at it, maybe check out our Patreon as well, because even a $1 a month truly goes a long way. Plus huge thanks to Gavin Burns, Justin Rage, Ella Vroniak, Balash Voka, Not a Pseudonym, Meg Sumner, and Shane Allcroft. But anyway, that's what it's. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then remember to subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in whatever I make next. Goodbye everyone. Goodbye.